Forgiveness is a time machine, and this already is the afterlife of cities that we've lived in before, and the legions of ghosts from our past that can haunt our dreams and semi-conscious wanderings. Meaning, I guess life itself is kind of an abstraction that we can bend and shape like clay. Anger makes things hard and brittle, fragile and cracking, but forgiveness is like wet clay where the possibilities are endless to shape our existence in all kinds of ways. I had this thought yesterday. I was thinking of friends who I've had falling outs with because of the recent wars waged by society across belief systems that ultimately don't really matter as much as humanity was manipulated into believing that they did. I think many of us have had similar falling outs in recent times. And I think of those people and the times we shared, the laughs we had, in some cases the music that we made. I know all that exists is in the here and the now, but some of our relationships are scattered in a past, and we can restore them by holding them in the light of love in the here and now. Forgiveness is a time machine because it enabled me to travel back to better times and it became a way to breathe life back into the corpses of resentment that haunts those past lives. I realized that if I concentrated on forgiveness, that I didn't have to participate in whatever animosity society or the media or behaviors of betrayal dictated I should follow. I could override all of that within my mind. I could return all these people to the highest states of love they'd ever occupied. I could forgive them all and be free of any demonic strongholds that bloomed in their minds and then with phantom fingers began reaching into mine. I could retire them or elevate them to my best feeling about them, all from the power of a choice. Forgiveness is indeed a time machine. It felt subversive, or like I found a glitch in the matrix. Anger always moves to control and to condemn and spreads like a kooky disease from one soul to another. And when someone turns on us, especially for what we deem an unfair or unworthy reason, committing some form of betrayal or provocation of rage, it would be seen as bizarre, maybe even perverse or rude to not return the negative feeling, to throw a little betrayal back their way, to return insult with insult. It's just the way the world works. It's kind of what we are trained to do. We leave turning the other cheek to Jesus or gurus on high levels of enlightenment, but is it really beyond us to simply forgive, especially if we realize the stakes of hanging on to anger is about the most destructive thing we can do in terms of the joy we can have in our lives? We can't hold love and anger simultaneously, so ultimately it becomes about overriding the ego and choosing love over anger, choosing friendship over betrayal, and to realize that the choice is ours to make regardless of anyone else's concept about what happened or what didn't happen. We can always choose love. It's a simple revelation, but powerful as well. Yesterday, taking a nighttime stroll, I had fun getting into the time machine of forgiveness, restoring every fallen person in my life to the best possible versions of who they were in my mind. The times when we got on the best, I leaned into the love I had for them till it wasn't something I had, but something I still have. A childlike sense of wonder returned, and I could dream into the night like I did when I was a kid, and the betrayals of the world hadn't yet handled me. The time machine called forgiveness took me all over the timeline of my life and even into the future. Chains and shackles I didn't know I was carrying just fell away. Forgiveness is a time machine of liberation. I never did agree with the division anyway. It always struck me as silly holding on to negative feelings. Perhaps some relationships never will come back together in so-called reality because in the material plane there has to be some sort of agreement in those realms. But in the land of our psyches, we don't have to hold anyone else's bag of negative emotions at all. We can restore and heal within ourselves for the price of a decision. Our internal worlds can remain places of peace, love, and freedom. Forgiveness is a time machine, so pray for those that wished you dead. It really is a rebellious and subversive act, and rebellion and subversion are almost always a good idea in the upside down. And what does amnesty really mean? People have written articles asking for amnesty where fear got the better of them. People want justice for the losses that they took, which is understandable. But at what point does hanging on to rage incur more losses all the time? Letting go and forgiving allows us to breathe again into divinity's light in the here, in the now. Because how long can we hang on to anger before it destroys us? It destroys every moment we choose anger over love, really. You can argue the injustice of it, but it's just the way life here has been designed. Judgment and vengeance are for the Lord and beyond the scope of man. Maybe the main offense to any offense is the anger it leaves in its aftermath. Hanging like a toxic cloud of madness, anger obliterates love, and if love is our goal every day, and it probably should be, leaning into anger and division is not the answer. The point is not getting pulled into the vortex of anger that neuters our souls and voids our love, no matter how righteous our indignation may just be. And to not be tricked by Satan to expand with unjustified rage or to stay mad. To hold on to victim status, to tell the story of unfair treatment over and over and over again. Because if we aren't careful, our lives become stories about what happened to us rather than stories of what's happening right now, of how we move on and continue to live life to the fullest. Sometimes the time machine called forgiveness doesn't take us to the past or to the future, but allows us to really be in the here and now, where the whisperings of the imagination's negativity can no longer reach us, pulling us apart into disparate timelines and scattering our sanity all over the cosmos, overriding the ego that keeps us into defensive postures and pretends to protect us somehow, and yet only protects division and prevents the childlike joy of life and its constant ability to restore us in a moment of absolute inspiration. This really is a hack in the matrix. We really can let go of all the supposed injustices in our lives and prevent them from affecting us at all or any longer. We really can pray for those that wished us dead by knowing that deep down it's not them at all, but the principalities of darkness that, like some kind of virus, crept into their minds. Forgiveness is a time machine, so get into it and set the timeline for the here and the now. Let's arrive.
Devil's foundation is anger, forgiveness is his kryptonite. When we hold on to what happened, we lose our love and grace and sight. Mercy is the moment which fully expands within, letting go of the past if we're ever to begin. The devil says it's justified, the rage you hold within, living all those memories where they let you down again. The lost opportunities, the lost days that burn, the evil things they said when love was overturned. Let go of anger. Forgiveness is a time machine. Let go of anger. When we do, we can go anywhere. But now it's in your station, being nailed up on your cross. All you could have gained with all you've surely lost. Retribution is temptation, and justice must be won. But where will you find justice? At your head you point a gun. Because anger, rage, and judgment is a crime they put on you. You put it back on them until you are guilty too. That's why vengeance is the Lord's, 'cause we're not like him. Who are we to judge what will happen in the end? 'Cause no one really knows. Let go of anger. Forgiveness is a time machine. Let go of anger. When we do, we can go anywhere. Let go of anger. Forgiveness is a time machine. Let go of anger. When we do, we can go anywhere. And never feel lost again. 'Cause we know our way back home and never feel lost again. 'Cause we know our way back home and never feel lost again. 'Cause we got the light within again. When we let our anger go, oh, oh, oh. Let go of anger. Forgiveness is a time machine. Let go of anger. When we do, we can go anywhere. Let go of anger. Forgiveness is a time machine. Let go of anger. When we do, we can go anywhere.